love to bring in Jermal and, of course, Chris Vecchio, see what he has to say and what he's looking at today.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, well, we're making our way through this pre-non-farm payrolls week, and really the attention in the market is shifting from inflation to labor. Today, we're going to get JOLTS. Tomorrow, we're going to get ADP. Thursday, jobless claims plus the non-farm payrolls report. We'll see if this tips the Fed back over into, or the market at least, into thinking the Fed's going to have to hike as early as July. Next month, starting tomorrow, we could be saying we're going to get a rate hike this month. But when I'm looking at the market here today, I'm thinking about these indexing concerns right now. We're not really concerns. Maybe that's far-fetched, but there's churn in how the indexes are constructed. Stocks are leaving, some stocks are entering. A lot of folks are thinking about SpaceX right now. But yesterday we had Google join the Dow Jones, replacing Verizon, which I didn't realize that Verizon still did anything else besides have no cell service and cost me $200 a month. But here we have someone basically jumping on a trade that's saying that with Google joining in the Dow, there's going to be a wave of fund managers who have to track this index. They're going to have to buy more Google. So there could be some upside here. Jermal, in a very signal versus noise sense, we see a trade come across the tape yesterday in Goog. August 21st, 380 call, 52 days to expiration. Stocks trading around 351 at the time of the trade. The strike was 8% out of the money. The premium paid was about $4.4 million with about 4,500 contracts involved. IV sitting around 37%. And so you get an aggressive fill here with most of the entire block going at the ask. This expiration covers the July 28th earnings report. So this does feel a little bit like targeted positioning. The buyer is getting Dow inclusion, a Q2 print, and about, we'll call it a month and a half of runway right now. Google had bounced 5% yesterday from being added to the Dow, and that comes after a 15% pullback from the May 18th all-time high around 404. So the 380 strike is more or less a bet that Google starts working its way back up to the high, and it's not even a claim that the market's going to stretch into new highs right now. And when we look at how the market performed yesterday, the broader tape lines up with all of that. Across all Google flows, you saw calls beating puts by about 4-1. The call premium in Monday's session for Google was about $117 million versus $28 million for the puts, with the net premium finishing positive by about $17 million altogether. So this is not an isolated call buyer, fighting the tape here, guys. This is someone who's very much joining the stream and going with the flow. We know the fundamentals here for this story. We could talk about the CapEx, the revenues, this, that, the other thing, but they are still looking for fairly strong top line growth, even with that CapEx at $190 billion. So I feel like we've all noticed here in recent days that the market's kind of sifting through the AI infrastructure stack and saying, who's paying for all this stuff? You are? You're worth less. Oh, you're a price taker? That's bad. Price maker, on the other hand, the memory chips, you guys are good. So where does Google find itself amidst all this? It's really on the side of being one of these companies that's more on the hyperscaler. They're building. So punishment comes in the form, memory chips go up, Google has been down. I think that we need to just take a step back here. This is a stock that has wildly bullish expectations, well beyond whatever this particular options trade is or this little expiration cycle. TD Cowen sitting at a 475 estimate, JP Morgan 460, Scotiabank at 450, Oppenheimer 445. The average Wall Street consensus forecast is about 21% higher than the current price. So if everything works out, if we're talking about a trade, guys, that is just in consensus here, then this looks like a pretty decent setup. You're looking for Google to extend back towards the highs, but not break them around their earnings, and the earnings have been very good recently. Where's the fault in this, Jermal? Was this something that you would want to chase and copy trade, as it were?
It's something I want to chase. I am literally short the 340, 330 put spread to buy the 380, 395 call spread. I did it last week. Does that answer your question? Yeah,
I am all. A little bit of a double bull there.
I'm all about this trade, no question. And again, I think we should reiterate, this exercise of signal versus noise. In this situation, we're not saying that somebody is moving the Google stock with this trade. That's not happening. Not with 4,000 to 5,000 contracts. What we're saying is that somebody has a lean and they have a thesis behind it. And like you alluded to, Chris, it's probably centered around that catalyst. And so I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. And I love that that's the kind of trades that people are still doing. They see a catalyst that's going into the Dow. They think that, at some point this will help create sort of a buying pressure to the upside. And then also it has earnings. So why not? Maybe they say something positive around that. Now, again, I don't know if they're outright. I honestly think if I was, just thinking, putting my prop firm hat on, I mean, you buy 4,000 of these, let's say 5,000 of these, that's easily 17,000 deltas. I mean, you don't hedge all of these. You probably hedge some of it and you still keep a little long lean because it's a $35 delta option. So you want the long delta. You're not buying this to hedge this fully. And so I think they're going to be leaning long deltas into whatever prints, whether it's at some point when it's already in the Dow or to earnings. So I mean, I love the idea of the trade. And again, we're just getting behind what are they thinking on this trade? And I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, so Mike, when I'm thinking about the signal versus noise, the noise here, Google's a $4 trillion company that's doubled over the past year. $4 million in calls is nothing for a stock, a company this size. But the signal to me is the alignment in all these different factors. You have a 4 million call buyer coming in right at the ask. And when we say that someone's paying at the ask, what effectively they're saying is they're operating at the lowest price the seller's willing to accept. They want to get filled in a position. They're willing to meet the seller where they are. We want this now. Come and get it. Okay. So we have that. We have Dow inclusion day. We have an options tape recently that's leaning 4-1 bullish. We know that their earnings are coming up right around the corner. That's your binary event risk catalyst. So someone is just looking at this accumulation of factors in the very short term and saying, if the winds all blow in my direction, like so many people feel like they are, then this thing could go right back towards the highs. And it doesn't even need to beat the highs to work out and make money, which I kind of like in this tape.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of things that favor this type of setup where you have a long option that you bought in the earnings cycle. We know the earnings cycle is going to hold on to extrinsic value until the earnings announcement actually happens. And with 22 plus days here before that actually happens, you could easily see a bullish run up pre-earnings. And this implied volatility, even with a heightened IV rank, this implied volatility isn't that crazy. 39% is whatever. So these options are pretty cheap, all things considered, being purchased in the earnings cycle. And to your point, if you get a 15-point move, like you can see the difference here between the 365 and 380 strike, there is about a $500 difference. Let's call it a 50% win if you get a 15-point rally from here. But it'll probably be a little bit more if it happens quickly because these options up here will appreciate more than these options down here that are currently priced at a 350 stock price if we have a slightly higher stock price. So yeah, I think at the very least, they're looking for a pre-earnings run-up. If they don't get it, they can hold through earnings and still have 30 days left to expiration. But they're definitely playing for a run-up from here with all the bullish catalysts.
And can we talk about the seasonality for Google itself in the month of July? Past 10 years, Google's up 9 out of those 10 years to an average gain of 6.8%. It's its best month of the year over the past decade. So if there's a month for say, Google's going to have a bounce in this market. And where are we going back to? We closed May at 376.43. You're saying that in the most bullish month of the year for tech stocks, Google is going to erase its modest losses from June. That is not a crazy bet. This is not someone who's reaching for the stars here and punching lotto tickets. If the market behaves as it typically does during the month of July, it has an average performance. This could work out.
Yeah, totally. And if you want to give it a tasty spin, even if you wanted to buy that 380 call, you could sell the 17-day against it. You could do a calendar spread and then roll into the earnings cycle, or even just start with the diagonal spread up here and basically get into a 10-point wide for $10. So I think I'll look at that on the open.
And I'm looking at the volatility here too, guys. I mean, a 62 IVR is one thing. So we go over to the raw volatility just to do a little heat check, and it's still 39 in the 52-day cycle. If we wanted to treat the recent lows as the lows, we're looking at a short put spread here, right? We don't need to go and buy the calls. We don't need to buy a call spread here. The low at 333.69. We could go out to say 330.325. Risking 66% probability of profit, risking 348 to make 152. A little bit worse than a 2-to-1 on the risk to reward, but better than 3-to-1. I'll take that. I'm actually going to do that right now. That should be up on the follow page as soon as the market opens. We can get filled on that. So I don't need to follow this trade directly, but I can look at the setup here and go, was I overlooking these factors in the short term as a potential trade setup? And I see the accumulation of things here, and I say, you know what? Give me that 8.8% return in the month of July, 90% of the time over the past decade. It's Christmas in July, guys. We should be shopping for some of these weak hyperscalers that are down like 25 or 30% year to date. Obviously not Google, but why not? Let's have some fun.
I hear that. Let's have some fun. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to play it. I mean, I think we've all laid out at least 3 different plays. There's so many different things you could do with Google here.
Yeah.
There you go.
And again, July 22nd, Google will report earnings. So plenty of time before that. And if you're just buying that option, we like selling stuff against it. If you're selling the put spread, there's plenty of ways to go about it. But thank you, Chris. We will let you go for now.